Hello there, today I'll be getting some gear upgrades in the Aqueducts. Welcome to the Aqueducts, home of oversized critters, the undead, and gelatinous cubes. Overall, I really like this zone, the exception being when the enemies would run into the water and I had to swim after them. Exploring it in first person also was really cool because it gave me an old school RPG vibe. It reminded me of playing games like Eye of the Beholder, Shine in the Darkness, and the Kingsfield series. But I wasn't here just for sightseeing. After a quick research on P99 Wiki, I discovered that I could get an alligator tooth earring, a limestone ring, and a gold locket in the zone. First, to get the alligator tooth earring, I headed to this platform, which is the spawn location for an injured rat. First, you need to kill a large rat in order to make an injured rat spear, but at least you get a drop rate of 100% for the earring. The cool thing is that you can do the Undead Knight camp at the same time as you do the rat camp, because they are very close to one another. And I already saw on my tracker that the Undead Knight was already up. But in case he isn't for you, you have to kill the fish that spawn in the same location he is. It was in this zone that I realized how cool the Ranger tracker is. Not because I could see when the enemy or the target that I wanted was up, but because I could also track when a high level undead was puffing nearby, so I could stay away when he was close and go for the Undead Knight when that dread corpse, which con yellow to me, was away. As you can see, I got my first limestone ring. Not long after, I got my first injured rat. And its earring. I repeated the process to get my second ring and my second earring. Now was time to delve deeper to the lair of the nesting rat. The nesting rat was already up, and it was being, quote-unquote, guarded by a gelatinous cube, which is just a random mob, and the spawn point of the nesting rat was just the end point of its pathing. What I didn't know is that by killing this gelatinous cube, I would get another upgrade. A cat skull cap that not only provided me with AC, save against magic, it also had a special effect that increased the spell haste for beneficial buff spells, which was kinda useless for me, but gotta be honest, my reaction to get this item was very different from when I got the jewelry. I think it's because the jewelry I already was expecting was the reason I was here, but this cap was a total surprise. It was a gift for me. Then I killed the nesting rat and got my own golden locket, granting me 2 points in AC and 3 points in charisma. Wanting to flaunt my extra 20 points in HP, I returned to Kinos Hills. Then I finally managed to find the Null Hunter. He dropped items that is needed for a quest that he rewards with a weapon for rangers and druids. The problem is that you need the 2 pots of the item, and each time he drops, he has a chance of dropping one of the halves. I found him this time, but so far I haven't managed to find him a second time, because he's classified as a very rare spawn. What I managed to get though was a medium quality bear pelt. And trading it with 15 gold with Shanda, I got a new pair of boots, which upgraded my AC and also had a special effect that increased the duration of my beneficial buff. I only have one buff, but I can imagine that this is very useful for my class like Shaman, which has a lot of different buffs. My first impression entering the western plains of Karana was, whoa, this place is huge! My tracker, that I was used to be so full in Kinos Hills, now had like 2, 3, 5 entries at most. My second impression isn't as good. Things feel a little bit too spread out, that include the enemies. The truth is, I will have to play for a little longer in the zone in order to have a good opinion formed about it. And my third impression, having fighting my first Dark Blue Lion, is that we are not in a newbie zone anymore. But I have finally found a good source for tailoring resources. It didn't matter if it was spiderling or spider, if it was lioness or lion, it was all fuel for the crafting treadmill. And then came the time to craft. And craft I did. I had a lot of stored material, from spiderling silk to ruined pelts, and I transformed everything in something else. Funnily enough, I left the ruined cat pelt for last, and those all failed me, so I didn't manage to craft anything that I could actually use to improve my AC. But I will not let that deter me. I also saved a lot of meat. Every meat the mobs dropped, I kept. So I bought a lot of bread and tried to make a lot of sandwiches, but most failed. But still, got to keep a lot of them. I also went back to Surefall Glade to practice my fletching. And kid you not, there is no material for you to raise your blacksmith in Quinos. All those things you have to buy, like small piece of ore and sharpening stones and all those things, the nearest place is in Halles. So I had to do a whole trek all the way to the land of the barbarians to get started with my blacksmith. 25 platinum. That's how much I spent in blacksmith. And then you wanna know how much I got in return? 22 skill points. I went from 1 to 23. That's like less than a point for platinum. And I only imagine we're gonna get more and more expensive as I get closer to be able to make my own chainmail armor, which is the objective here. But hey, that's what I signed for, right? And I crafted a lot. It was a lot of material being crafted in blacksmithing. It was so much, I didn't record everything. And I had like 1 hour of me crafting. I recorded 1 hour of me crafting non-stop. But it wasn't all for naught. At least in the end, I said, screw it. I had some higher quality cut belt, and a bunch of studs. So I managed to make at least a few pieces of studded armor for myself. Get a significant bump in my AC. So yeah, it wasn't all for nothing. So I feel that I progressed plenty with my character. Look at his inventory, at his equipment slots, way more filled than it used to be. For the next episode, I don't know what it will be. I think I'm gonna be doing the newbie armor quests. So until then, goodbye.